the tea on how Diddy turned Bryshere Gray into his boy toy at just the age of 17 after he failed at making him do some things. According to Terrance, Diddy tried to make something happen, but he made it clear that he didn't get down like that. He moved on to Bryshere, who was not even 18 years old yet at the time, and completely damaged the boy. The worst part is Bryshere's money-hungry mother, Andrea, allegedly knew about what was being done to her son's things, but she allowed him to continue in exchange for a check. Jaguar Wright was the first person to expose Andrea's alleged involvement in Bryshere getting passed around, but hearing it again from Terrance's own mouth just makes it even more creepy. He was working with Bryshere on Empire, and every time they would come on set to film, he claims he saw Bryshere just getting more and more damaged till nothing was left. Now, when it comes to Diddy's predatory ways, there's really nothing surprising about it anymore, but Terrance Howard was still the last person anyone expected to have a story about Diddy. This man is straight as a ruler and has made it super clear, actually too clear, that he doesn't even swing the other way. So the fact that Diddy will try to get him to spread his things and make stuff happen is diabolical. But that's the thing about Diddy. He doesn't want men who are openly out as gay or bisexual. He wants straight men so he can rip away their straightness and make them feel emasculated. He loves how powerful it makes him feel, and that's what he was trying to do to Terrance, and unfortunately what he succeeded at doing to Bryshere. Terrance set the internet on fire just a few days ago when he appeared in an interview and spilled the tea about how Diddy tried to get in his pants and violate him. He said he got a call from Diddy that he wanted him to coach him on a role that he apparently had. It's unclear if Diddy actually ever got casted for a role or if he just made it up just to get Terrance to come over to his house. But either way, he wasn't calling Terrance to that house for coaching lessons. He had other plans for Terrance, and it involved him being clothless and making his cheeks available and prepped for a long time. He said once he realized what kind of timing Diddy was on, he cut off all communication with him instantly. But that didn't stop other people in the industry from trying to get at him with that same stuff, because even after he stopped communicating with Diddy, some other producers also approached him with the same intentions in exchange for acting roles.
Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to f*** you. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers come in to make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you or looking at you like you're a woman.
But this wasn't the last of it, because somewhere in the conversation they brought up Bryshere Gray, and Terrance threw shade at him by claiming that Bryshere is an example of one of the men who haven't been the same since Diddy took away their manhood by making them his little twinks.
When you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right. But when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the Puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Got punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So,
But Jaguar didn't end it there, y'all. She later did another interview, and this time she gave us the tea on how Bryshere even ended up with Diddy and the names of the people who made it all happen. She said Bryshere's then manager, Charlie Mack, collaborated with his mams, Andrea Mayberry, to allegedly sell him off to Diddy and Will. The only reason why Charlie allegedly even joined Andrea was because Bryshere was still 17 and he needed his mom's permission to carry out the things he wanted to do with Bryshere. If it was up to him, Bryshere would have been older so he could do even worse to him, allegedly.
Say, Andy, I'm talking about Bryshere's mom. I'm gonna kick you in your in and I'm gonna go to work North Philly style. You and Charlie. You happy now? He's a gay star. Are you happy now, Andy? For a book that didn't sell. I hope that new husband of yours leaves you. And maybe it's time you tell your son why his father is really in jail, his biological father, for all of his life and what you had to do with it. You CI. I'm sorry.
Now this is where things got even more crazy because Jaguar claimed that at that time that all this was happening, Andrea actually came to her begging for her to help her with Bryshere, and she told Andrea to get Bryshere away from Charlie Mack since he was the link between Bryshere and Diddy. But Andrea did nothing and allowed Diddy and Will to allegedly keep messing with her son till there was nothing left of Bryshere. At the point, Bryshere had already been turned out and was now doing substances to cope. Just like Terrance said in his interview.
That came to me and begged me for my help. I told her to get the fuck away from Charlie. I did everything that I could do to get Bryshere, to help her get Bryshere out of California into Chicago safe to be ready for filming. She knew she knew what Will did to him. But because of Charlie, see? And Charlie had promised her all kinds of things. And all she had to do was pretend to be a broken down single mom who worked her way up through the ghetto and raised a superstar for television, when the truth is she wasn't nothing but a dealer's. That's all she ever was. She went from dealer to dealer, and then she snitched on whoever she needed to snitch on until she could get to the bigger bag, until she got with Larry Lair, my friend who raised Bryshere in $1 million home. Your whole book is lies, Andy. And I hope anybody that bought it asks for a refund and demands it comes out of your pocket every time they see your son's gate.
Yeah.
You and Charlie Mack.
Prior to Terrance's recent interview, he had already hinted at how defeated and emasculated Bryshere felt after everything that was done to him. But at the time, people didn't realize who he